Everyone is always asking me, how much should I charge for my program? Am I overcharging? Am I undercharging? And you have to understand that pricing is the quickest thing to do in business because it's literally just numbers on a screen that you can change whenever you feel like it. But it's one of the things that most businesses get wrong. If you price your service incorrectly, no one will ever buy, or you'll underprice yourself and you're gonna start feeling like a freelancer and not really like a business owner. What I hear very often is other people just saying, yeah, bro, just increase your prices. But there's a process for pricing strategy that I'm going to give you today that I think will help you solve this issue very quickly. For example, I've had 3 clients very recently and they changed their pricing structure with us, and all 3 got record-breaking months. And honestly, what I gave them was actually considered counterintuitive. But after years and years in this industry, that's exactly what works right now, and why I hate it when people randomly just say, dude, just charge more. It doesn't work that way. There's 2 schools of thought primarily. The school number 1 is pricing doesn't really matter, just put a price tag on it and move on. And number 2 is pricing is super important because it affects profitability and how potential clients perceive the value of your services, and neither is technically wrong. What I've seen work very good, and now what I implement in our consulting company for our clients, is something called LPP. But to understand what that is first, I have to show you another way of pricing called value-based pricing. And again, guys, like, you can take whichever and just run with it. The biggest and most important thing here is how comfortable you feel when you're saying your price out loud to somebody else that's about to buy. So getting back into it, value-based pricing, it was popularized by Alex Ramosi in his book $100 Million Offer, with the offer formula that everyone knows. And it's mostly just broken down into 2. Primarily, 1 is pricing based on outcome. This is very simply when you do pricing based on the value provided to the client rather than the time spent on it. Like when you're a contractor, when you're just charging for time. So for coaches, this means setting prices based on the transformation or end result you're gonna deliver to your client. And in value-based pricing, we also have high ticket pricing, which you probably know what it is, which is nothing more than just creating an offer so valuable the pricing is unreasonable in comparison. But in this case, it involves stacking a bunch of bonuses, stacking a bunch of other extra things that really don't add any substance to the offer itself. And what I see people do really wrong is just stacking a bunch of services just to make the main offer better. But the problem with this is that people don't understand what and how to add bonuses to actually add to your offer. People just add random PDFs, random videos, random models, random one-on-one calls that really don't give anything in value, just because they feel like adding a lot of volume to your offer, like junk volume, is going to just magically make your offer more valuable just because there's more things that you're giving. But that's not really the case. You see this stuff work really well with low ticket products, like when you, for example, you're gonna buy a book online from a marketer or a business that knows what they're doing, and you'll see that they sell you the book. It's a book funnel, and it's like $3. And then once you buy the book, the next screen that you get is probably some sort of upsell or side sale or whatever it is, saying, hey, you just got the book, but if you just pay us $15 more, then you get this and this and this. We used to charge thousands of dollars for this, but now you can get it for $15. That's what people in this high ticket industry took from low ticket industry. That doesn't really work if you don't know how to use it in the best way possible. This the easiest way of saying this and explaining this. And just adding a bunch of stuff and thinking it's gonna be better, it's further from the truth. And talking about creating an offer that makes sense for your market, listen, if you're an info product business or a coach looking to get to 7 figures, I actually have another video here on my channel that walks you through the exact process on how we do this for our clients. Just feel free to check out the description below. It'll give you all the details. Okay, so what we do instead in pricing is LPP, which is leveraged premium pricing. It's a fancy way of just saying we take the leverage from client market research, which I'll explain to you in a bit, and we create a pricing model. We create this pricing structure to basically influence how a service is perceived. So higher prices often correlate with higher perceived quality and expertise in the market. The key here is to make your offer actually good, and you actually are good in business because you're slapping a high price that you're instantly just better in the market. No, that's not what I mean. Obviously, you're good at what you do, and then on the back end and on the messaging part of the services, we frame coaching or your services as an investment in personal or professional growth, because we want your prospects to view your services as an investment, and then of course they're more likely to pay premium prices. It's basically you can't afford not to do this, because the cost of not doing this is way higher than the actual just monetary transaction. It's intentional investment. The shift that I want you to adopt is that pricing should just be purely data driven. For example, we take our most common objections and make those as bonuses for the main offer. So this increases perceived value and we can have just higher premium pricing. So for example, let's just say you're a fitness offer and a lot of the objections that you're getting from your clients is that they don't have enough time to train, whatever. You can say in front messaging in your offer, how you position your offer, that one of the things you teach people is how to better manage your time so they can eat better and train better. And on your sales call, you also say that this is the first thing that you're going to fix with them. Again, you're not just stacking things that don't make sense. You're stacking things that make sense. They actually solve all the objections, and you're putting things in your offer that increase the value of your offer, because they can't afford not to do this fitness program, because if they don't, they'll never find the time to actually train or eat better. The caveat to this is that you're going to make your offer so good that when you price it, when you sell the investment, people are going to be like, that's it. And it has happened to me many times. I mean, honestly, sometimes it sucks because you create something I call a golden gap. Value is so good that your offer feels cheap. And when I pitch my services, people are like, that's it. And honestly, it just messes me up, which kind of sucks. So if you want to feel that way, you obviously need a golden offer. So you have to understand and articulate the specific changes, the specific improvement, the transformation a client will go through. And instead of focusing on inputs, you have to focus on outcome. Instead of telling them the specific exercises or diets, or maybe in B2B, the specific business inputs like VSL program or stuff like that. The key here is you being so knowledgeable about your expertise that you can offer an outcome, because you know exactly what the client needs to do once they're in the program to actually get there. And then obviously position your coaching service as high end, which boosts perceived value. But obviously, I mean, I hope I don't have to say this, but you have to have the street cred in order to do so. When you focus on the value you're giving and a well-structured service that adapts to the client's needs, you can charge high ticket. And as you tweak these changes and you change your messaging, you implement certain things in your offer, you have to have client interviews to have continuous testings and validation by checking client satisfaction, retention rates, and overall profitability. I don't want you to think that pricing is this overly complicated thing. It's really not. But you have to understand that in order to have a high ticket pricing offer, basically in summary, you just have to be really good at what you do. Don't just take the advice of somebody just says, hey, just do charge more, because it doesn't work that way. And to close this off, obviously you just want to avoid 3 most common pricing mistakes that I see, which are very simply underpricing, fear, and following bad advice, guys. So for underpricing, this is obviously self-explanatory, but there's a risk of underpricing and it can lead to overwork, undervaluation in the marketplace, and you'll be treated like a freelancer, which kind of sucks. And then you have fear of high prices. This is mostly just a limiting belief, and it's mostly fixed by you actually doing the work and you actually being good and you actually having the client results for that, so that you don't fear charging a higher price. And lastly, we have obviously the horrible advice of just increase your prices, bro. I mean, you can, but you can avoid massive mess ups and likely leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table by using what I just told you in this video. There's a lot we didn't cover because it's out of the scope of this video, like other pricing strategies like cost plus margin, market comparison, client ROI, a bunch of other things. But thing here being is that pricing is such a small piece of the puzzle, and to be a great business owner, you have to have something worth charging tons of money for. And if you're an advanced business owner, you understand the importance of getting leads to sell to, being able to sell to these leads effectively, and do what I call the boring part of business, which is the operation, so you can grow this business and scale it. So I've actually have a video going over all this in detail. You can check the YouTube link in the video description below, or maybe there's a video around here somewhere where I can walk you through how we've done this effectively for multiple companies, and I just want to give it to you so you can copy and take this and grow your company so that you avoid all the costly mistakes I've done in the past. So I'll see you in the next one.